The chance to start fresh. It's what many of us dreamed that we could achieve. The hopes of wiping the slate clean in an attempt to get things right this time around. That's what young one woman hoped to do as she was poised to begin a path of career and life-changing goals. However, she would never get that chance, as we will soon see. This is the mysterious disappearance of Brandi Wells. Brandi Ellen Wells was born on November 28, 1982 in the sprawling city of Tyler, Texas. Now, growing up, Brandi was described by friends and family as an energetic and very outgoing young woman. Through most of her school years, Brandi was interested in music and band activities and hoped to one day become a country singer. She was involved in something known as the Flag Corps, a demonstrative branch of the marching band at her local high school. The talented young lady soon became proficient at twirling a baton and maneuvering with a flag. The Flag Corps soon became her dominant extracurricular activity, and it was something that she took great pride in. After graduation, she receives a scholarship, and soon after, she would start to pursue a teaching degree. After a failed marriage at only age 19 and a year or two away from her college studies, Brandi decides to get her life back on track to again pursue her career goals in both music and education. However, with all that in the forefront of her mind, Brandi is intent on getting in one last night of fun. Something that will prove to be a disastrous decision. On Wednesday, August 2nd, 2006, Brandi travels back to her home of Tyler and surprises her mother, Ellen, with an unexpected visit. Brandi explains her intent on returning to school and even announces that she's landed a job at a local Walmart. However, that night, Brandi sets her sights on going clubbing. The young woman invites her younger sister and a family friend to join her, but after they decline, Brandi chooses to set off on her own, ultimately ending up at a popular night spot known as Grand Central Station in the heart of Longview, Texas. Now, this was unbeknownst to her mother, who believed that her daughter was going to a night spot in town, much closer to home. On that note, it has been 16 years since Brandi Wells was last seen or heard from. The morning after Brandi goes clubbing, her mother notices that she had not yet returned from partying the night before. As the hours tick by, Ellen becomes more and more frantic. 2 full days elapse before the family finally decides to file a missing persons report on Brandi Wells. Now, in an interesting twist, Brandi's car had actually been found the morning after her disappearance, abandoned on Interstate 20, connecting Tyler and Longview. Yet the connection to the missing girl is not made till after the police report had been filed by her family, frustratingly eroding vital time in the investigation. When the car is searched, a napkin with a name and phone number along with what was believed to be Brandi's cell phone is found inside, but otherwise the vehicle doesn't show any signs of a struggle. Now, one notable discovery is that the driver's seat was pushed all the way back, which was indicative of someone much taller than the petite young lady having driven the car to the location that it was later found. Police contact the number on the napkin and find that it belonged to a man that said he met Brandi the night that she vanished. The individual was questioned extensively and has passed several polygraph tests. He is currently not considered a suspect in the case. The cell phone is also thoroughly examined. However, in a setback to authorities, it is later discovered that the phone didn't actually belong to Brandi, but rather an ex-boyfriend who had been stationed overseas at the time of her disappearance. Police then set their sights on the club that Brandi attended the night that she went missing. Surveillance at the establishment was painstakingly combed through, and Brandi is spotted entering and leaving Grand Central Station, and on both occasions, she was confirmed to be alone. Now, another break in the case comes after detectives obtained Brandi's cell phone records. The logs show a bout of suspicious activity beginning approximately 9 days after Brandi goes missing. There's a high volume of outbound calls, which gives police the impression that the phone was being used to solicit drug activity of some kind. The calls are then eventually traced back to a pair of individuals, both of whom had lengthy criminal records. The 2 men are brought in for questioning, yet they adamantly deny any involvement in Brandi's case and insist that they merely stumbled upon the phone laying on the side of the road in a rather seedy part of town, one known for its high crime. The two persons of interest are put under intense scrutiny by police, but they are unable to pin any conclusive links between them and Brandi Wells, other than the fact that they came into possession of her cell phone in the way that they claimed. No concrete evidence has ever come to light tying the two men to Brandi's disappearance, although they are still very much on law enforcement's radar to this very day. In a final disturbing footnote to this case, 2 months after Brandi vanishes, police make a grisly discovery 11 miles from where she was last seen. In a derelict oil well, the body of a young female, approximately the same height and dimensions as Brandi, was found burning. When examined by coroners, it is determined that the woman met with a violent end. However, it is proved through dental records that the body did not belong to Brandi Ellen Wells, and as stated before, she remains missing and unaccounted for, over 16 years following her vanishing. Life can be a cruel mistress sometimes, and it's as if the universe itself conspires to disrupt the lives of those that are on the brink of finally making things work. Sadly, Brandi Wells was unaware of this seemingly cosmic quirk. She walked into that nightclub but failed to receive the hand stamp at the door. You know, the one that read, "Question everything and trust no one." It is often said that by the definition of human nature itself, no matter how much a person may accomplish in his or her life, the feeling of wanting more is never far behind. Oftentimes, the journey is more exciting than the destination, the drive to achieve far more thrilling than the achievement itself. Now, that seemed to be the case with one young lady who had a propensity to think that the grass was always greener on the other side, and this may have inadvertently led her down a road that she was never to return from. This is the cryptic vanishing of one Maura Murray. Frederick Murray always prided himself on being a hard-working and dutiful parent to his 4 children, especially his daughter Maura. Born on May 4, 1982 in the town of Hanson, Massachusetts, Maura and her father always shared a special closeness. So much so that she pushed herself into being the proverbial overachiever for fear of letting her father down. She was an athlete, an academic trailblazer, and a career-oriented young woman. Now, Maura was fast set on the road to success, and at the age of only 21, no one's future could have seemed brighter than hers. Yet no one could have predicted the storm of misery and mystery that was looming just over the horizon. Fast forward to February 7, 2004. Fred Murray drives up to the University of Massachusetts Amherst to go car shopping with his daughter. Her current vehicle has been going through some severe wear and tear, and he thought it was high time for her to get a new one. After picking out a suitable vehicle, the Murrays had made arrangements for the very next weekend to purchase it. That night, father and daughter had dinner at a local brew pub, and later on, Fred lets Maura borrow his car for a night out with some friends. Earlier the next morning, Maura reports that she had had a minor accident. However, despite Fred's reassurance that it wasn't a big deal, Maura seemed to be particularly distraught over the collision, something that she couldn't seem to shake off, according to her father. After speaking to the college student one final time over the phone, Fred informs her to fill out some accident report forms at the local police station and to call him back when it was all taken care of. However, this is a call that would never materialize. Further into the weekend, Maura conducts some odd internet searches, specifically for rental properties and cabins near New Hampshire, in addition to getting directions to a region in Upper Vermont. Her reasoning, or what exactly her plans were on the following days, remains unknown. Maura then sends an email to some of her college professors, informing them that she would be away for about a week due to a death in the family, after which she sets off on her journey. Now, the kicker here is that there was no death in the Murray family, and her motivations as to why she lied can only be speculated upon. On her way up to New Hampshire and Vermont, Maura depletes her bank account by ATM and purchases a large amount of alcohol before continuing on the road. On that cold night, she veers off Route 112 and strikes a large snowbank on the desolate and sparsely populated stretch. After witnessing the accident, a bus driver offers his assistance, to which Maura flatly declines. Ignoring this, the driver leaves to make a 911 call and reports the incident. Yet when he returns to the scene a few minutes later, Maura has vanished. She hasn't been seen or heard from in almost 19 years. Police investigating the scene discovered that a portion of the alcohol had been found in the trunk of the car, but that most of it had also mysteriously disappeared. Apparently, there were no telltale signs of Maura or anyone else leaving the scene, as no footprints or tire tracks could be located in the surrounding area. One commentator said that it was as if Maura Murray had evaporated to thin air, as the saying often goes. Over the years, Fred Murray has repeatedly returned to the site where his daughter was last seen. He has headed up numerous searches on ground and in the air, however, all to no avail. He has even tried suing the state of New Hampshire and alleges that the local PD is withholding evidence in the disappearance of Maura. However, in this too, he has been unsuccessful. Leads on the case have been few and far between. 8 years after the disappearance of Maura Murray, a curious and disturbing lead seemed to pop up in a very unlikely place. On the 8th anniversary of the young woman's vanishing, a frightening video surfaces on YouTube of a deranged man who heavily implies that he was directly involved in Maura's case. In the video, he provides eerie and subtle clues that correlate directly with the police investigation. Take a look. Calling himself 112 Dirtbag, the individual in the video, a man named Alden Olson, uploads the unnerving video and claims that his username, 112 Dirtbag, is in direct response to a news interview Fred Murray conducted in which he refers to whoever took Maura as, quote, some dirtbag who snatched her on Route 112. Olson is seemingly implying that he is said dirtbag. After investigating the video, police believe the upload to be a hoax and that Olson is simply a mentally disturbed prankster who made a bid for attention by trying to insert himself into the case. Yet Olson still remains a low person of interest in the eyes of authorities. Theories have run rampant, some saying that Maura intentionally disappeared, while others claim that she was abducted, killed, and buried at a nearby ski resort close to where she was last seen. One clue discovered by police that lends credence to the idea that Maura might have engineered her own disappearance is one of her favorite books that was found in the car the night she went missing. The book, entitled Not Without Peril, details the account of many hikers who have vanished or died in the surrounding foothills of New England. Many see this as an eerie prelude to Maura's own disappearance and cite the fact that she may have been planning to hike into the nearby forest of New Hampshire in order to disappear and start a whole new life elsewhere. It's a purely unsubstantiated idea, and most see the book as being nothing more than a mere coincidence. Whatever the case, the only solid fact that we have is that Maura Murray is still missing, and almost 20 years later, we are no closer to finding out the truth of what happened on that lonely road and on that cold winter night in 2004. Did Maura want more out of life, or was she simply taking a temporary retreat to perhaps gather her thoughts and regroup, so to speak? Or was she taken by unknown persons in the dead of night and whisked away into the dark forest, her fate forever unknown? Whatever the truth, one lesson we can always take away from situations like this, and that is to question everything and trust no one. This has been Dark Visions. Pleasant dreams.